Can you please just switch it off, then you'll talk when you have something to say. Thanks. Then yeah, I just wanna explain the concept of break-even point. So let me just first draw the graph for you that would have normally we would have. Let me just draw it. This side would have something that looks like this. Then okay, here we would have your sales revenue. So I'm just gonna draw it here. We'll just keep on referring to this one. Then this side, it's your sales revenue. Then this side, you're going to have your total cost. Then okay, this side, yeah, I think it's your fixed cost. So fixed cost, I'm gonna indicate it this side. That okay, this side you have your fixed cost. No man, this stylus is better. Let me just try this one. I don't know, I broke the lead for this first one, and now this one. Okay. Okay, we have the fixed cost. Then you see where you have your sales revenue intersecting with the total cost, which is here. This is where we're mainly going to have the break-even point I was talking about. You see, so this is where we're going to be having that this is where you're going to be having that break-even point. Am I missing something? Then okay, this side we're going to be having a number of items. Let me just increase this. Number of items. Then this side we would consider the total revenue. Total revenue, then okay, do I have everything? Sales, total cost, sales, okay, total cost, sales revenue, fixed cost, number of items. Then yeah, as I said, where you see them at this intersection, this is where you're going to be having that break-even point. And if your person is selling more items than that, meaning from this region going up, it means they're making profit. Hence I can just come and highlight it like this, that this region where you see that I'm highlighting now, this is where they will be making the profit. Then here where I'm going to be highlighting now, this is where they'll basically be making the loss. See, but you'll just see with the other example as we go on. So here I said this is basically we're going to be making your loss. Then for that one, this is where you're going to be making your profit. You see, So yeah, I just want us to at least maybe go through one example where I explain the break-even point, then we can continue. So okay, let me just leave it this one here in this page and start with an example. So this is not example that like gets in the book or an example that's asked in the exam. Is just to make you guys at least maybe understand this theme a little better, so you know if they're talking about the break-even point, you'll be able to know that okay, they're talking about something like this. So let's just say now you want to start a business. So now we're starting. I'm also teaching you about businesses today. So let's just say you want to start a business. So mainly would say, okay, your business is about selling what? Okay, we can say it's about fish and chips, né? So I think a break-even point is something like like you've already experienced it in your life. Because like let's just take it like this: if you're about to start your own business, you need to consider your expenses and also consider how much profit you're going to be making. So for now that we're thinking of like a fish and chips business in our head, when you're creating a fish and chips company, there are some of the things that you know that okay, you have to consider them as your expenses. But in this unit, let's just say you're going to have your expenses, but your expenses are going to be broken up into two. You're going to be having your fixed cost, then you're going to be having your variable cost. You see? So fixed costs, remember, these are costs that you incur even if nothing is produced. So we need to go and at least maybe try and determine what can be those type of expenses in this type of company. So try to think that okay, what can be the cost that will be incurred even if nothing is produced in our company. You try to see that okay, if I'm in a place like Hatfield, the first thing that comes to your mind is it's rent. Rent will always be incurred even if nothing is produced, you see. And the second one, you can have things like your marketing, because you can market, but even if nothing is produced, you're still going to get the cost for marketing. Then also your things like your equipment, you see. Then yeah, I think and extra, those ones. So your variable cost, these are costs that are dependent on the number of items produced. So your variable cost, I would say these are like your direct cost related to the product that you're selling, because you know if you're going to make your fish and chips, you know that you have to consider things like your cooking oil, like your fishes themselves, your potatoes, then what else, things like your spices. Then yeah, that's that. Let's just like leave it at that. Then now you need to consider your profit per saving. That okay, you have your profit per saving. This is when you go and sit down that okay, I want my business to be like this, that okay, you have your selling price minus your cost per saving. This would mainly give you your profit. So let's just say now you want to sell your fish and chips for 50 rand. If you're selling them for 15 rand, then the cost per saving, let's just say, okay, for this thing, they cost you, I'm just going to give a small amount since I've already included a 50. But like, yeah, just know this is just like a silly example I'm using. So let's just round this up and just say it's they're costing 20 rand. And this one, so you consider, okay, now I'm gonna make my selling price 50 rand, then the cost for that, for those ones, would be your 20 rand. So now you know that you're going to get a profit of 30 rand, you see. So it means now your business is at least maybe doing well. But now if you want to consider and see how many let me just check. Oh yeah, how many items would you basically need to sell in order to make more profit? Because remember, you start making profit from this region going up. So you say, okay, what's your formula for the break-even point? You know, you have your break-even point. The formula, it says you have your fixed cost over your profit, or this one you can just say it's your profit per saving, like we've been discussing. See, then you go and check that, okay, what are your fixed costs giving you? You go and check now that, okay, this side, your fixed cost, let's just say overall, this one, they are giving you yeah, let's just say it's 10k. I'm just thinking of 10k for McDonald's. So now you're going to calculate at your break-even point that you have what? You have that 10,000, then you will divide by your profit per saving, then you'll say you have your 30 rand. Then can someone just like punch that? Then you check the number of savings that you have to make.
It's 500.
It's 500.
Oh, can we? No. 333. I thought 9.
Okay, it's 3. Yeah. These are the savings that you have to do. So it means now, in order to make profit, you would at least maybe to need to sell greater than your 333. So now it means our 333 will be at this red dot. See, would be here. But in order to sell more or to make profit, it means we have to sell more than that, you see. So this is the strategy that, like, you see big companies are using. All your KFC and your other ones, they go through all these things and consider them. That's how they're able to know, okay, our business is going to be making profit or not, you see. They already know that, like, if they've sold this number of stuff in a day, because like you get things like your order numbers, stuff like that, up to your 5,000 or whatever, they already know that, like, after they've reached, let's just say maybe 1.5, they're already making a lot of profit for that day, you see. So this is basically what your break-even point is all about. It basically tells you if whether you're going to be making a profit or not, and when exactly will you be making a profit. If McDonald's, they know, okay, if they calculated that, okay, after they've opened and they've sold or they've made orders around 333, it means when they are going to make 334 and so on, that will be when they're actually starting to make more profit, you see. So yeah, that's that. I wanted to explain that. Then we can go into the examples. The examples. Then this one I think I can just like do this. I think it's a nice theme, especially if you also enjoy economics. And now we can go and try and look at the examples. Okay, the theory we've went through that at the top, and we've tried to at least maybe explain using maybe an example, but like we'll keep on going back to the thing. Sorry guys, I have flu. So we're going to start with example 1. So each and every time we're doing this type of examples, if maybe they talk about stuff being sold and your cost, try to break this thing down and check, okay, in terms of cost, can I allocate this or say this is my fixed cost, or can I say this is my variable cost? Because like you have to keep those definition at the back of your head, that okay, your fixed cost are the cost that you're going to get even if nothing is produced. Like those examples I've given, things like your rent, your equipment, and and so on. Then your variable cost, that's like cost that like are directly related to what you're going to sell. If it's that those fish, you're going to be having your spices, your eggs, and so on, and your potatoes for the chips. So that's mainly how it it works. So now we're gonna go to this example that says it cost 5,500 to create your website and 66 rand to buy. Does someone have a question? Does someone have a question or? Okay. I thought I had someone talking. They're saying it costs 5,500 to create your website and 66 to buy and print t-shirt that you sell for 120. So you go and check that, okay. First of all, what's my 5,500? Then you can see they're saying 5,500 is the cost to create your website. So it definitely means this one you're going to incur it even if nothing is produced. So it means now you can say this one would be your fixed cost. Then you go and check that they say it costs 66 rand to buy and print t-shirt. So this one, it's your variable cost. So as we said, your variable costs are dependent on the number of items produced. So this one you can just say it's your VC. Then you go and check that, okay, 66 rand to buy and print a t-shirt that you sell for 120. So what's that 120? That's the revenue that you get for selling a shirt. You see? So this 120 that you see this side would definitely be your revenue. So now they're saying, how many t-shirts must you sell to make a profit? Then, okay, what's the formula for profit? You can see the formula for profit, that's your revenue minus your cost, which is given this side. It's written if it's like a pie. That's the signage they use. Then you see let's say they have this, and they're saying you have your revenue minus your cost. Now minus your cost, your revenue minus your cost. So this is basically your revenue can save in it. Revenue and sales are the same thing. It's your sales or revenue minus your cost, then you know how much profit you'll be making. And you know from the example they said the revenue that you will be making from selling the shirts, it's your 120. Just to go back and confirm, you can see this side, that's okay. They're saying and t-shirts that you sell for 120, then the cost that you are incurring, it's what? It's 66 rand to buy and print a t-shirt. So you go and check that, okay, your cost is 66 rand. So okay, I think this would give you your 54. You see? Then now, since you got your profit, you have to go and check at your break-even point that, okay, what's happening? You will go and say, okay, you have your break-even point. Then you will consider what? Your fixed cost or your total fixed cost over your profit. But now you know this is per shirt. So now you know what would be your fixed cost. Your fixed cost, we've already said that it's going to be your 5,500, because these are the costs that this business will get even if nothing is produced. So it means now they have that 5,500 divided by the profit. So what's the profit? The profit we've already calculated it this side, that this is going to be the 54. Then you know that this is going to give them approximately 102 t-shirts. You see? So now you go and check that, okay, this it's at my break-even point, which means now I'm going to be at this point at the middle, and in order for me to make a profit, I must sell at least 102 t-shirts. See, so it can be 103 plus in order to make a profit. Same with the example that I've used before. We can start with this one. You see, so your conclusion will always be like this one, because remember this type of questions, I think they are the ones that you ask in your section B and section C. See, so let me check. Also, we can answer this in a different way. So if you check the theory this side, there is a thing that they've indicated at the top. What do they have this side? They say the profit at this function. Then they also say at the break-even point, which is the second step that we've calculated, it's where profit is 0. That is, the revenue is equal to the cost. So it basically means what they're saying, they are now saying their revenue is equals to their cost, you see. But now we have to write this in terms of the equation. So remember the revenue that they got, it was what? It was this 120. Then it was, you're gonna say you have your 120q, and this side you're going to represent cost as your function. Remember, you're gonna check that, okay, what kind of cost do you have? You have your fixed cost and your variable cost. So your fixed cost, they do not change, so it means now you're going to be having that 5.5 Then your variable costs are the ones that change. That means you can write your 66Q. You see? So to take your 66 to the other side, you will have your 120Q minus your 66. Then you get your 5,500. See? Then this okay, I think it's supposed to give you 54Q. Then you have your 5,500. Then if you divide by your 54, then you divide by your 54, then you'll see this is the same as the other one, this one here. So the answer is still going to be your 102, and you'll see you have your 102. Then your conclusion that you need to sell at least 102, and you know the word at least, it means you have to be selling at least it means it's something like this. X is greater than or equals to your 1/2. This is for those who are doing stat. At least it means it can be 102 or more. So if you were to write it, you're going to write it as something like this. But now we're not dealing with your x's, we're dealing with your q's. So you're going to say you have your q that's greater than or equals to your 1/2. So this is what I think this is like theme 5 of STK 110. So yeah. Oh yeah, we're done with that one. You go and check. Oh, we are done with the thing. So the thing, how many t-shirts you must sell to make a profit? You must sell the t-shirts that like are more than your break-even point, or whatever that you are selling, because like they're gonna give you different type of examples, but like just know that like whatever value that you're going to get at your break-even point, it must be more than that. Hence I've drawn something that looks like this, so you can know that like whatever that's going up that side is considered to be your profit. Then we're done with that one. We want to go to example 2, your supply and demand. See? So here side they've given you your supply and demand curves. That okay. You also have to learn to check the relationship between the supply and demand, and also the price and the quantity. You see, for the supply, as the price increases, the quantities increases, but for the demand, as the price increases, then your quantity decreases. Then that the last one is just like I'm trying to show you what happens at the break-even point. And example 2, they go and show you that okay, they say consider the function q is equals to your 300 minus 6p and your q is equals to 9p minus 150, with q the number of items and p the price in rand per item. So they say number 1, which function is the demand curve? Q is equals to d of p, and which function is the supply curve? Q is equals to s of p. See? Then you go and look that okay, I have my q is equals to 300 minus p. So if you check the slope, you have your minus, that's this side. This thing is off. You have your minus this side, minus 6p. This side you have your positive 6p. This one should tell you that this one is for the demand, then this one is for the supply. You see, as easy as that. So you know, you can see this one, it has a positive slope, this one it has a negative slope. You see, positive slope, a negative slope. So you're already done with that. Also remember to keep these shapes in your head, because they're not going to give you this in the what's this in the exam. You see, just keep the theory. Also, the theory is not that much. This is the only theory that you need to know in Unit 7. It's only this part. It's only this part and this part only. Because the definition, they're just saying the supply curves gives the number of Q items that the manufacturer will produce at price, blah blah blah. Then the other one, demand curves. Yeah, it's about the manufacturer and the consumer. Or you can just say it's about the producer and the buyers. Your consumers, this one will be your buyers. Then we go and check. Where were we? Oh, we were at the example. This one. They are saying. It's not going up. They are saying at a price of 20 Rand per item, how many items will the supplier be willing to manufacture, and how many items will the consumer be willing to buy? You see, so now this should give you or highlight you about something related to this one. Remember, we talked about the supplier this side, and also the consumer this side. The supplier is what? The supplier is the manufacturer, and the consumer is the buyer. Then you know this would be what your consumer would be coming from your demand curve, which is going to be this one. Then your supplier will be coming from the supply curve, which is going to be this one. But now you're going to be interpreting those with regarding to the 20 Rand and see what is happening. See, so let's just quickly go and interpret those with regards to the equation. You see, this side they only just like told you about the supplier and the consumer. You also need to reference them back that okay, who is my supplier? My supplier is my manufacturer. Then what's the formula for that? Now you know when they're talking about your manufacturers, you're going to keep in mind your supply curve, which is going to be this one. But now when they're going to be talking about the consumers, these are the people that are going to buy and they are going to be demanding the product. It means now you're going to consider the demand curve, but now they've already given you those in terms of their formula. So now you just have to interpret what happens if you're given that price of 20 Rand. Will we have more consumers or buyers buying, or are we going to have less, or what's going to happen at that point? So to interpret it clearly, let's just go and write them down and see what happens if we have a price of 20 Rand. So let me just like erase these ones. Okay, this one let me just like leave it. Let me just like cram this thing. Okay, we have 300 minus 6p and 9p minus. Yeah, okay, now I've got them. We have the first one that's saying they have q is equals to your 300 minus your 6p. Then the second one is saying you have your q is equals to your 9p minus your 150. And remember I said I can see that like it's your demand or your supply with regards to your p. You see this side we have minus 6p, this side we have positive 6p. And you see that, okay, the one that's negative, this is going to be the demand, because the graph is looking like this. Then for this one, it's going to be the supply, because the graph is looking like this. This is your D, then this one will be your supply. Then they say at a price of 20 rand, we have to go and input your 20 rand and see what is happening. Then we're going to be having let me just check. Oh yeah, now we have to see that, okay, the demand, what would be the demand if we consider selling at a price of 20 rand. So we're going to be having 300 minus 6 into 20. Can someone calculate that for us? Then we check the supply, that the supply, if we having a price of 20 rand, then we have 9 into your 20 minus your 150. Then we check what are the answers for those two.
For a demand, it's 180.
Then you get your 180.
And then for the supply, it's 30.
You can have your date. So now you can see that your demand is greater than your supply. You see? So it means if more people are demanding more of the product, it means the supplier must also try to match the demand. You see? So let's just say maybe I have an example where people are just like, I'm one person who likes to buy on Temu. If maybe you have like a product on Temu and people are buying it in a bulk, or a lot of them are buying it, means also the supplier or Temu must like also make sure that like they produce the stuff in bulk. So you will say for this one, Konja, let me see, what do they want? At a price of per item, how many items will the supplier be willing to manufacture, and how many items will the consumer be willing to buy? Okay, it means let me just check that. Oh yeah, the manufacturer will be able to. I'm also mixing the thing. You see, it's been long since I've done this thing, and they're saying the manufacturer, just to go back again, they're saying, yeah, the manufacturer is the one for who is supplying. Then the manufacturer means they will be able to supply about like 30. Then the consumers or the buyers, they will be willing to buy about 130. You see, actually this person can actually be making more profit if they were matching the 130, because like now we are having people who are willing to buy 180 products. Let me just like go down. We're having people who are willing to buy 180 products, but the manufacturer is only able to make 8. You see? So it means if maybe they were about to make those 150 more, they were going to be making more profit. You see? So yeah, that one, you can leave it in this form, that your demand is greater than your supply. You're also going to get marks for those two, because like I see the next question that comes as I was looking, it's like it wants the definition for this one on an explanation, because like now what do you have? We said we said the demand is going to be greater than the supply. So to meet the demand, the supply quantity and the price will increase. So you definitely know that like, okay, now the equilibrium price will be more than 20 rand. Because now if I'm selling something for 10 rand and I'm having more than 200 people that like are buying, I can't just like keep the selling the product at the same price, because like I see that like more people are coming and they are valuing the quality of what I'm offering. It means at my equilibrium or break-even point, I might even consider having to sell more products since my demand is greater than the supply. You see? So that will basically be the reasoning behind that one. So now you go and check that, okay, they're saying find the equilibrium price, find the price and equilibrium quantity. See? So yeah, because like I feel like I was just tempted to answer it in terms of price on number 3. So I would say maybe perhaps if they didn't include this follow-up question, you can also answer it regarding the price, or you can just like answer it the way we were speaking about. So now they're saying find the okay, and you do remember that like what did they say? Then they said something like at your equilibrium point, your revenue would be equals to your cost. Your revenue would be equals to your cost. Then now what are we dealing with? We're dealing with your demand and supply. That okay, what's happening at your break-even point? At your break-even point, you have this and they're meeting this side. So you have to go and use the intercept like we were doing in the last theme for WTW. I'm just like mixing these modules because like it's tearing a lot of modules. We were doing something similar in like a STK. Then now what do you have? You have this equation, 2 equations. Okay, let's just say now you have your S of P is equals to your D of P. This is your demand and supply that you see at the top. Then you're going to be having your 9P minus your 150 is equals to your 300 minus your 6P. See? So yeah, I just hope that you guys also are also practicing on your side, because this now serves as part of your exam, and make sure that like you understand each and every question that like we're doing, so that like when you come and do this after the session, or when you are alone, you're able to understand these questions. So now what do we have? You're gonna solve for this and check that price that they were referring to. That okay, you have this, then okay, 9 it's greater than your 6, then you can just keep this 9 this side, and you just say you have your 9P plus your 6P this side. Then you can say this side you have your 300 plus that 150. So on this side you have your 15P, then this side you have your 450. Then your P it's how much? 15 by 10. It's 150. 150. Then okay, I think about 30 or something. I think it's that. Look at it. How much is it?
It's 30.
Yeah. You have your 30, then now you go and check that, okay, you can input your 30 into any of this formula, then to find your Q. What would be your Q? Any of this formula that you see, remember you have this one, this side, then you have the other one, that side, any that you choose. Whether it's your supply or your demand, you're supposed to get the same answer. Where you see your P, you just input your date.
It's 120.
Then you're getting 120. Even if you input it to the other one, you're going to get your 120. But now, remember in that last question where I said like you can interpret it using your P, then now you're going to come and interpret it using this P here, this side, that okay, in order to be making more profit, you can at least maybe increase this price. Then let's just check what more do we have. Do we have another question at the bottom? Oh yeah, so now they're saying use the demand curve. Use the demand curve. I just like to highlight. Use the demand curve to find the global maximum of the revenue. So now you see that okay, you're dealing with which theme? What was the theme? It's theme 4. So the demand, you have to go and check, okay, which one is the demand? The demand is this one with a negative slope. They say use the demand curve to find the global maximum of the revenue function. So you'll see the wording, it's kind of like this in most of the cases. This is when they will require you to use those theme 4 steps that you were taught in the past. But you'll see how we go about doing this. So now we see, okay, what's the revenue function that you have? You know that your revenue, that's equals to your price by your quantity, which is this side. You have your price multiplied by your quantity. So you can quickly go and say, let me just like erase this one. Oh, let me just take my jersey off because I have my heater on and it's getting hot now. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, they're saying your revenue is your price by your quantity. Then we are on the last one. No, the stylus is off. Your revenue is your price multiplied by your quantity. And now we know that okay, but let me just check. Oh yeah, then we have to check the other part that okay, they've given us the 2 parts. We have the revenue part that they've already given us. Then we have the Q, this one, which is your demand. Then what is your demand? Then your demand, we said it's how much? It's your 300 minus your 6p, which is this one, where they say your Q is equal to your 300 minus your 6p. You say this is the same as where you had your Q is your 300 minus your 6p. You see? So now you can see that, okay, between these two, you have your Q this side and also your Q this side. So now it means you can go and say you have your R is equals to your P into what's your Q? Your Q is equals to this one. It's your 300 minus your 6P. So now you have your 300P minus your 6P squared. You see? So now you know that, okay, what I basically did, I just replaced the Q. Just to go back, I just replaced the Q with what was already given, because why am I doing that? They told me that use the demand curve to find the global maximum of the revenue function. You know, when we are finding the global maximum and your global mean, you always go to the number line. So they won't tell you to use a number line. They will just tell you something like use your global maximum or find your maximum, your minimum, or whatever. They already know that whatever you're going to find at the number line, you're going to find your maximum. So already, without having to calculate a lot of stuff, you know this side that it's going to be positive, this side is going to be negative. That's the way we have been discussing the other theme. So now we have something that looks like this, but now you know, just like in your head, I would say in this theme, try to keep the first derivative in your mind, that okay, here I'm using the first derivative and I'm going to go to my number line, and also just try to keep the steps in your head for theme 4. So now you will know you have to find your first derivative for this one, that okay, your first derivative is going to be what? You're going to have your 300 minus your 12p. See? Then you're going to consider your critical point. This is where you know you have your R of P is equals to 0. So you basically equating this into 0. Then you know you have your 300 minus your 12p is equals to 0. Then you have your 300 is equals to your 12p divided by 12 divided by 12. Then your p is equals to what? 20 something.
25.
That's
25.
oh yeah, 25. That's 25. Now you can go to the number line and just throw this side, that you have your 25 this side. Then you know that okay, you are using the first derivative this side, you have your minus infinity this side, you have your positive infinity. Then you go to your number line, same steps that we did, that okay, you consider the values that are on the left hand side and also on the right hand side. If perhaps maybe you input your 24 into this equation, are you getting a negative or positive? But I already know it's supposed to be positive and negative. On your left hand side, are you getting positive?
Yes, on our left hand side is positive.
On the left?
Yes.
Then on the right?
And on the right it's a negative.
Yeah, it's a negative. Yeah, then you know it's like this, and like it normally how we'd interpret it, you have this going up. Since it's positive, this side it's going down, and you know if you have something like this here, it's where you are having your maximum. Hence the question says, what do you have? It says use the demand curve to find the global maximum. So you know that, okay, exactly here at where I have my p equals to 25, I'm going to be having the global max. So now you can conclude that, okay, your global max is 25, or your global value, then your global max, is then you go into your original, say the global max, or your max value would be equals to, then you go to your original. What was your original? Your original is as this one. Then you input your 25, 300 minus your 6 into 25. So yeah, just the same steps we've been using in Anthem for. Now nothing changes. Or you remember how we were dealing with the first derivative test. So what's the value that you're getting? You just input your 25.
150. We got 150.
It's 150. If you input it into this one,
Yeah.
let me check. Let me see. Yes. You guys are going through the West now. Who's saying yo yo? Okay, then you said like it's 150. I think it's supposed to be high, unless maybe we've done
Yeah, it's
something.
150.
Unless if we've done something wrong. The global max, then revenue function 25. Wait, I'm just checking something. I'll just come back and recheck it later. But yeah, it's just like those first derivative steps. Then,
So, I wanted to ask, which equation are we substituting the 25 into? Are we substituting in that one, 300p minus 6p squared?
let me check. Yeah, it's supposed to be this one. You use this one, Akara,
Yes.
and it gave you 150. I don't know.
No, it's not 150. It's a negative value.
That's how much?
If you use that one, 300p minus 6p squared, it gave us 3,000, negative 3,450. Our negative. It's not negative.
Because I
I'm
was
getting a positive number.
I was surprised that like this can be 150. That's why I was just like standing. Guys, can
Wait, it's 3,750.
Yeah.
It's 3,750.
Hey. You guys, let not sure I like it. Yeah, I think now we're doing the right things because I was seeing like no man, something is off. Something is off. Let's just quickly go back and check again. Okay, they said like we must use the demand curve in order to determine. Let me just like go back again. They say we must use the demand curve to find the global maximum of the revenue function. We started by the revenue function that our R is equals to our P by Q, but we've already know that okay, this was for this one for the revenue, but for the demand we had this one, this side. Then where we see this Q here, we basically replaced it with this one that we had our R is equals to P, then our Q is now replaced with our 300 minus our 6P. See, then after multiplying by the P throughout, that's when you start using those first derivative rules from theme 4, you see. Then yeah, that's it. Let me cancel this one, or unless if someone has a question on this, then yeah, just ensure also you don't make mistakes like this in the exam. Try to verify and check if maybe your answers are making sense. See? And also it's more important to plan your paper and okay, this theme I'm good in it. Actually I just like expect you guys to be good in all the themes because you don't lack anything. You have all the resources available actually. What you need is just to practice more and more examples, because like it's easy to understand one example and feel like you are good with theme 7, but like if you don't go through a lot of examples, because like that's what I've also experienced with other students. They would be like, I thought I understood this theme, but like when I went to the test, yeah, I've realized that like I don't. The only way that like you can know that like you understand something is by trying to at least applying it in a lot of scenarios, because like you see in WTW they just like make some minor adjustments and see okay, will you be able to handle this type of situation or stuff. But like at most I try to at least cover all the ways they would ask you. It's just like a method that like you have to at least maybe get more examples, practice them and see okay, am I comfortable in this theme? Then you'll mark it out that okay, one theme 7, I'm already expecting close to, if it's out of 10, maybe 8, 7. You see, that's how you already know that you're passing. Not to just say, I've already did like 1 or 2 example, I think I'll be sorted. Then you find something different and you feel like, okay, let me just like go to 7. Let me just check. This unit has how many? In Team 7 it has how many units? I see 1 up to 7.4, but like it's not a lot. It's just like full with example and like a lot of theory. Then let's just go to okay, 7.2. Okay, you guys can read the theory in the meantime. I just wanna go and get a glass of Coke, then I'll be back. You can read this theory in the meantime. I'll be back now. This one up to here. Then when I come, we'll do the example. Okay, we can continue. Now we're on unit 7.2. Yeah, we're almost even done. We're only left with unit 2 units. On this side, we only have like 2 examples. Easy ones. Then, yeah, I just hope you guys were busy looking at the theory that side. Just gonna quickly go to example 1. They say, consider a manufacturer with cost and revenue in rand represented by the functions. Then we have the first function in cost. Then we have the second one in revenue. Then they're saying what are the fixed costs. So yeah, does anyone have an idea of like how we'd go about determining the first one, or if perhaps maybe you have an answer for the first one? Because I remember from the other examples that like we did, we said your fixed costs are what? These are the costs that you incur even if nothing is produced. Even if nothing is produced. This should click something in your mind. Even if nothing is produced. What would be the answer? You guys can't see it. You just like put your 0 this side, you know, you don't even have to work hard. This one will just cancel out, then your fixed costs are going to be your 5,000. You see, as easy as that. So fixed costs, same as having your C of 0. Then yeah, then we've answered the first one. We answered the first one. Let me just check something. Right. Okay. Yeah, let's continue. We're saying we had the fixed cost, so now they're saying find the total cost to produce 50 items. So yeah, this is still easy. Also, it's just like you have to find your C of 50. Then okay, let me just like write them down and not be lazy about it. This one I don't want to wrap it out. Let me just do this. Okay, we had this. Then the first one we said this is the same as having your C of 0. Then you're going to get your 5,000. Then the second one, the same, find the total cost to produce 50 items. This is the same as having your C of your 50. Then it gives you how much?
$19,750.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, 19,000. It's another contract. I'm gonna check. I don't have a calculator. I don't even remember the last time I held a calculator. And now they're saying find the marginal cost at Q is equals to 50 and interpret your answer. It's number 3 and number 4. Let me just like remember Kunje. Marginal cost, I think it's the one where, if I'm not mistaken, is the one where you have to find your derivative. Yeah, you have to find your derivative. Where's the theory? Marginal cost. Yeah, you have to determine your derivative, then also your marginal revenue. It's your derivative. Then if we go and say, let me just write number 3. Let me just write it like this. It's your 1, 2, 3. Then we know that okay, we have the marginal cost. We have to find the derivative of that. Then we check what's the cost that side. We're going to be left with 300 minus your Q. Yeah, 300 minus your Q over 5. So that's just the first derivative for that one. Then we have to input 50 into this. That now we have is, what do you get? Oh, when you see your Q, you just put fifth.
It's 290.
Then you have 290. You see? Then you go and check that, okay, find the total cost to produce number 50. And like, I don't know, did I explain the marginal cost? Because now marginal cost, this is the same as having the cost to produce one more item. If we're producing one more item in this case, it means now we're interested in item. Which item? Item number 51. So you will go and conclude that the let me just change this to this. So the cost to produce item number 51. Remember, from the marginal cost definition, we said as the cost to produce one more item. If we were considering 20, it means now we're going to be making the conclusion with regards to number 21. But now we've calculated using the 50th item. Let me say the cost to produce item number 51 is 290. Remember section B and C, conclusions. Then now you go and check that, okay, number 4, what are they looking for? Then given this one, as I've highlighted, find the marginal revenue. You're still going to be using your first derivative. Where's the theory? Yeah, your marginal revenue is this one. You still use the first derivative. Okay, that one we've got it. Then we'll say which one was your revenue? Revenue is that example. Okay, your revenue as this one. So it means our derivative going to be left with your 400 plus your 2q over 5. Then okay, then you have your marginal revenue, your first derivative, you have your, it's off. Let me just try changing the other one. Okay. Then we have that marginal revenue, the first derivative is going to be left with. Let me just quickly go back and see that, okay, we have 400q plus q squared over 5. And you're gonna have what? You have your 400 plus your 2q over 5. Now you have to find the first derivative of 50. What are you getting if you input your 50 there where you see your q? Yeah, it's texting. Can you please get the answer for that one?
No, this around I'm giving other people a chance. So it's 450.
It's 450. Why aren't you guys confident about your 400 plus 2 into
So it's 420.
50?
It's 420. It's 420.
I thought I had 450. Okay, so yeah, then
It's 420.
Then for this one, you will say the revenue from item number 51 is 420. Then let's just check. Yeah, you're done with the rest of the question. As simple as that and straightforward. Then we go to example 2, which is the one this side. Then they tell you something like the cost function for a manufacturer is blah blah blah, with Q the number of items and C in rand. At the moment, the manufacturer is selling 749 items per week at a price of 79 rand 50. Yeah. Then per item, should the manufacturer increase production? So basically what they want to know here is this person making profit or not. So you can only know that you are making profit if your revenue is greater than your cost. See, that's the only way you can know. Then now let me just quickly remove this. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. Revenue is greater. They want to check. Always I was saying the only way to know that okay, this person is making profit, or if whether they should continue, is to check if their revenue is greater than cost. See, so now they were saying they were selling 749 items per week. So now what we have to consider, the cost associated with producing 749 items, you see. Then also we have to consider the revenue of producing 749 items. So let me just do this. The first one, that's our cost. Then this one, it's our revenue. Then what do you get? Remember, I see now. Am I doing the right things? Okay. Then what would be the cost? Just try to input your 749 into this equation that you see this side. We have it written as your C of Q is equals to your 0.02 Q squared plus your 50Q plus 4,000. So we just input your 749, then we determine the cost. Can you all just try to do it so I'm getting the correct answers only? I guess, come on, let's be fast. What's the answer for the first one? You just input the 749, then we do these things, and yeah, you can continue with whatever you were doing. I mean, I'm already tired because I was at work today, so I just want to get done with the session. King, are you guys on strike or what? Because we can't continue if I don't have any answers to say. Or should we end the session because like you are no longer participating?
So can you please repeat what you want because I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was saying I want the answer for this one and no one is replying, so it's like I'm talking to myself in this session.
So for the total cost is gonna be 52,670,02.
Is that correct?
Maybe. Yeah.
Why are you saying maybe? Then okay, our revenue, you remember we had our revenue is the same as your price times your quantity. You see? Then they said you are selling 749 items, then at a price of 79.50, then you have your 79.50 multiplied by your 749. What are you getting?
So it's 59,000.
It's
59,545.5.
59,000. Continue.
545.5.
505.
59,000. 59,545.5.
545. Oh no, 5. So now you can see that, okay, between this, okay, let me just like use the red, like the term using something red. This is our revenue and this is our cost. And from the two, you can see that our revenue is greater than the cost. So now it definitely means that you are making profit. See? So let's quickly go back saying the cost of the blockchain, blah 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 blah. And they say at the moment they're selling. Then we did that, we found the cost. Let's see, it was 52,670, and the revenue was 59,545. So it means now you're gonna go and make a conclusion that like, okay, you're making your, I wanna go to this one. And here's another question. Yeah, we're almost there. Let me just check this, but did I upload everything in here? Oh, we're still on 7.2. This one it's 7.4. Oh, we're supposed to be going to 7.3 now. So You keep on tipping to the same thing again and again. Oh yeah, this is 7.3. Let me just erase these things first. Might as well just like remove this one this side rather than having to go up. Where's that one for 7.4? Okay, the other one is here. I'm just gonna okay, let me just like put it this side. Okay, yeah, let's just like start with this one. Then we'll go back to this one that like I'll put here, which is 7.3. Then we're having example 2. They're saying consider the cost function C of Q is equals to 100Q plus 200,000 and the revenue function R of Q is equals to blah blah blah. With Q the function of items and C and R in rand. Find the maximum profit. Saying find the maximum profit. Find the maximum profit. So does anyone have an idea of like how we're gonna go about solving this example? Example 2. What are your thoughts on that one? We've already done something similar, unless if you guys weren't listening.
And where are we?
Example 2. Next, nothing is coming in your mind when you say this. It doesn't remind you of anything we've done in the past examples. Anyone? Let me just go and see. What did we do here? As the last question this side we have highlighted says use the demand curve to find the global maximum of the revenue function. And this side they're saying consider the cost function, then they've given you your cost and revenue with Q number of items here, and then they say find the maximum profit. So what steps are we going to follow in this example 2? Still nothing. Okay, I'll explain it. So this is why also I said it's important that you also attempting these questions that like last week we're already going, because if you're busy doing them and writing your answers down, you would have noticed that this is where we used the first derivative. And also this is where you're still going to use the second derivative. You just have to equate these two. So this one I'm just gonna let it be your homework. You can try it and send the answers since I've already explained this one. So I'm just gonna go to example 3. So yeah, guys, going
Sir,
forward.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, don't you maximize profit where your marginal revenue be equal to your marginal cost?
When you're what?
Marginal revenue is equal to your marginal cost.
When your revenue is equal to your cost, that would be your breaking point. You only make your profit if your marginal revenue is greater than your marginal cost.
Okay.
So yeah, example 2, you just like go and try it with the first derivative. And yeah, you just have to remember that when they're talking about your profit, you remember that like, okay, when you have a profit function, your profit will be equals to your profit. It's like this. You have your profit is equals to your revenue minus your cost. Then, but let me just check. Yeah, that's like that. Then after that, you use those steps for first derivative, then you find your answer. And already wanted to check something. You already know, since they said something like your maximum this side, you're going to be having something like this. This side you're going to be having your positive and your negative. Then you're going to be having that maximum value that you're going to be having. But like as I said, you guys will try this one. Then yeah, we can go to example 3. Then yeah, also even this one 7.4, almost we're already done. This one also will just be your homework, because like we've done something similar where I said like you have to find your fixed cost. Remember I said your fixed cost, these are the costs that you incur even if nothing is produced. Then the cost to to produce the 10th item, then the cost to increase production from 10 to 20. I think I'll just like do the last one. Then 1 and 2 you guys will do them. Then we'll just like I'll explain them on, I will choose Monday or Tuesday, but like you just have to make sure that like you submit your answers for those ones. So let me just like explain this one, and there's also one question in like 7.3 I didn't touch. Yeah, I'll just go back to that one. So now this one I feel like I've already touched also on it regarding the graph that like I've drawn, but we'll also touch using an example like this one. So let's just say perhaps you're given an example like this one that they say example 3, maximum profit or loss by using a sketch. They say the graph of a cost function and revenue function are given with C and R in tens of thousands of rands and the number of items Q in thousands. So they're saying, when will the company make a profit? When will the company make the maximum profit? When will the company make maximum loss? Okay. Sorry about that. Gosh. Okay. Yeah, let's continue. Then they're saying, remember, as I said, this is where you're going to be having that break-even point. And from the sketch that like I've drawn up here, what did I say? It said like we're going to be making a profit just a little above, going up from the break-even point. Then the region that you see underneath there, this is where you're going to be making your losses. Then you know that okay, this total cost that you see this side here, your total cost adds mainly, you can say your total cost is equals to your fixed cost plus your variable cost. So now you go and check that okay, if I'm given something like this, but now I don't like the way they've put this thing. So now you can quickly check that okay, when will the company make a profit? So the company will definitely make a profit from this region up to somewhere here, you see. So yeah, I don't know, whoever was marking that side was just marked around 4.5, but like it also still makes sense that like the company is going to be making profit along those region. Hence that's why in the other region that I've highlighted that okay, that will be the region where you're going to be making your profit, you see. So you have the first one, then they're saying where would the company be making your maximum profit. Let me check. Is there any difference between the first and the second one? Yeah, I would still say somewhere along that one, which is your 4.5, because like it's a little higher compared to this one around your, I'd say that one is your Q2, that one is like your Q4 point something, you see. So now they're saying, when will the company make maximum loss? Your maximum loss will be somewhere around in this region. Would say somewhere around your 0.5, your 0.5 for here. So this region here, let's just know this is mainly where the company is making its losses. And also I think it's like something that was also highlighted here, so it also helps you to check. What were they checking this side? I see they've already drawn something like your tangent, trying to see what it could mean. Yeah, but it would definitely be that region around your 0.5, because now I'm just like trying to use the scaling that like they've given for us. But like if it's going to be a question that like it's given like this in the exam, I think it's going to be much clearer compared to this one. You see, because like I've seen one another question where it was just question similar to this, and I hate this type of questions where I feel like much clarity wasn't done on the question. It was a question that looks like this. They just gave you a graph like this, then they say, when does the company make a profit? You can just still go and say the company makes the profit between the region A to your B, which is this one to this one. So you can say it makes the profit between A to B, strictly that region. Then we'll say, let me see. Oh, they ask, does the company make a profit? Then we'll say, yes, it does make a profit. Hence, like you've highlighted that the region A to B. Then should the company produce more than I items? How do I check this one? Should the company, the revenue is greater than cost, which means they're already making a profit. So I'm not sure what they're trying to mean, but like, yeah, if they're already making profit, how do I, should the company produce more than items? Produce when they're already making enough profit? Yeah, they can produce more items if they still want to make even more profit. Hence, that's why I was saying I feel like if maybe they've given us like functions or scenarios, but these ones, I also just struggle to just like answer them correctly. But like that's mainly the interpretation I would use. Then they're saying, what are the signs of the first and second derivative of the cost and revenue function at Q is equals to I. I don't even know where exactly it's. Is that I? And interpret your answer. Okay, I'll just like go and check this one again. But yeah, that one it feels way complicated than I thought. Then let's just go to 7.3. 7.3, they're saying at a price of 8 rand per item, consumers will buy 1,500 units. If the company increases the price by 1 rand per item, the number of items that the consumers will buy will decrease by 75 rand. So just by reading this, I've already thought about 2 ways we can go about answering the thing. So yeah, I just hope this example 3 and the other one, if it comes, they don't ask it like this, because these questions are annoying. They are annoying, and I feel like they are not that much clearer. And let's go to this one. They're saying this and this, as I was saying, I was just like thinking about like already getting 2 ways you can do this type of example. That okay, the first one, okay, let's just do this. That they're saying you have your price and your quantity, and you know that okay, you have the slope that they say, does the function describe represent supply or demand curve. Yeah, then let's just firstly relax and try to see that okay, what do we have at P, what do we have, we are given 8. Then at Q, we are given 1,500. Then again, they say if the price is increased by 1, then the Q decreases by 75. So you can already see that, like here, you are having a positive relationship. Remember, you are having something that looks like this. Then this side, conjects like what? I'm trying to remember the graph. I think it's P and Q. So your Q is decreasing and your P is increasing. So you're going to have this. And remember, what shape is this for? This is for your demand curve. As I said, you have to make sure that like you keep the shapes in your head. Then you already know that, okay, this it's a demand curve. Then they say find the formula of the function. Given that it's a linear function, you know your linear function is given as y is equals to your mx plus c. So that's basically your linear. Then now you know your slope, your m is equals to your delta q over your delta p. You see, so your delta q over your delta p. And now each and everything that like you are doing in calculus, you must like question it that, okay, if now I'm dealing with your p and q, why did I say my m is equals to my delta q over delta p and not delta p over delta q? So you know, if I'm about to explain this regarding to this, you must consider if you're going to throw this on a Cartesian plane, which one is going to be an independent and this one, which one is going to be dependent. I know these things we did them in grade 11 and grade 12, but like I know sometimes you just quickly just like do the calculations, and like when you scripts comes back, you only find out that like you did your delta p over your delta q. See, so I know something which is easy to miss. Just have to relax and see between the two which one is going at the top and which one is going at the bottom. Then if you read this statement clearly, you will see that they've already given you your change in Q over your change in P. Your change in quantity, that's going to be what? Minus 75. It's going to be minus 75. Then since they're saying it decreases, then your change in P, the price is going to be 1. It's going to be 1, which means now your slope or your m is going to be minus 75. So that's one way to describe your slope. The second way, which I think is just going to be easier for everyone, we're just going to interpret this as points. Yeah. So let me just like erase this one here, but like whichever way that you understand, you can use it. Okay, they say we have, okay, let me just like write this one. We have P and Q. So this one, let's just call them P1 and Q2. This one would say the first price would be your 8, then your Q would be your 1,500. Then your P2, your Q2, what is the statement saying? The statement says the price will increase by 1 rand. If it increased by 1 rand, it means now we're going to be having 9, and they're saying the quantity will decrease by 75. So you know your 1,500 minus your 75, you are going to be left with 1,475. You see? So now you have 2 points to work with. You have P1, Q1, which is given as 8 and 1500. Then you have P2, then you have your P2, then you have your 9 and your 1475. Then you know your slope, you're gonna have your M as equals to your Q2 minus your Q1 over your P2 minus your P1. Then you know that, okay, you have your 1475 minus your 1500 over your 9 minus 8. This should give you the same answer that you got, which is your minus 75, which is the one that you got this side. You see? As easy as that. Then, but you're not done. You only found the slope. Then in order to find the full equation, you know, you're going to say you have your Q minus your Q1 is equals to your M into your P minus your P1. Sure, you can recognize this formula. So you have your Q minus your 1500, then you have your M, which is your minus 75, into your P minus, which is your P1 minus your 8. Then okay, you're gonna have your Q is equals to your minus 75 P minus 75 P, then 75 by 8, it gives you how much? Plus 75 by 8. Yeah, plus 600 plus that 1500. So now you know 600, you have your Q is equals to your 600 plus your 1.5, it's your 2.1 minus your 75 P. See? So yeah, that would be the formula that you have to write. Then now, what was the question saying? Okay, we found the linear, then they're saying find the price that will maximize the revenue. So what do you guys think about the second question? What are we going to do? Anyone? So what do you guys think we're going to do on the last question? Because I've already explained this thing 3 times. Oh, what were you gonna do if this was in the exam? What were you gonna do? Okay, I'm just gonna explain it for the last time, and I hope you guys are listening, because we can't do something 3 times and still no one has an idea. So what we're going to do, we're still going to consider the number line and find that maximum value using the number line. Because as I said, if you don't understand something, stop me and ensure that like you understand each and every question. We've now passed those questions more than 2 times. No one stopped me, and now I'm asking it, and still no one has an idea of how we're gonna go about doing the question. So now we found the function that okay, we had our q is equals to 2.1 minus 75p. So you already know that like now you need to consider what your revenue, same steps we have been taking. So now you know that okay, your revenue would be equals to your price by your q. You see, so you see where you see your q, you input this one. So now it means you have your r as equals to your p by your 2.1 minus your 75p. As easy as that. And you'll say you have your 2.1p minus your 75p squared. Then you know that you have that one, that this is where you can start using your first derivative. But okay, first derivative for this one, you're going to get your 2.1 minus your 150p. Then this is the same as having calculated your critical point, because you know your critical point is merely this equals to 0. So now you have your 2.1 is minus your 150 p is equals to 0. Then your 150p is equals to your 2.1. Then your p is equals to how much?
It's 14.
It's 14. So now you're going to go to the number line. That okay? You have this. You have your 14 this side. Minus infinity, positive infinity. Then we're working with our first derivative. Then this side you're gonna do your test, but you'll see it's your positive, then it's your negative. Then you're going to have something that looks like this. Then you know that your p is equals to 14. This is where you're going to be having your maximum value. Then you go and take this value, your 14, and substitute it into the original function to get that maximum value, you see, which is this one. Then that would be the question. That will be the end of the question. The rest of the ones I'm just gonna send it at the group, that you guys gonna attempt it. And guys, please, when you are attending this session, make sure that you are doing this and you have your calculators with you, because attending the session and just like staring at the screen, it's not gonna benefit you, because we'll be done with the session and you'll still be unclear about like a whole lot of stuff. So just take these 2 hours or whatever hour we're going to be having as also your practice time, so it benefits you. So we're done for the day. So any other questions that you guys have, we'll just like do them during the week with the questions that like I gave you guys as your homework, you see. Then I think also during the week we have to do linear algebra, but that one is not a lot. So mainly this week after we're done with it, because like now it's just like two examples that like I've given you as like your homework. Then after doing that, I think we'd immediately just like start with your linear algebra. So I think something like Monday or Tuesday we do that. Then going forth, we'll just like be having sessions based on your questions, and any questions that like I could find that can be asked in the exam, I'll also send them or just like bring them up in the session. I'll also try to maybe brief you of what's going to come, because I know already you have to keep it in your mind that like, okay, theme 6, it wasn't asked a lot, it's definitely going to be here. Theme 7, it wasn't asked, it's definitely going to be there. Linear algebra, it wasn't asked, it's definitely going to be there. So these are the things you have to be spending a lot of time making sure that like you understand each and everything when it comes to this thing. Linear algebra, you see, I've already counted 4 themes that they were not even included in semester test 1 and semester test 2. Then the last one that you need to add, it's your theme 5. Theme 5, the other ones that you're going to add there and there and there, it's unit 1.2. I know they like to ask about the graphs. So that one you need to make sure that like in all the tests and everything in WTW, you are able to draw all your types of graphs, do your domains, do your ranges. Then what else? I think in your section B, you're going to be getting like 6 to 10 marks. They will ask you to do your integrals. So let me just see how the paper is going to be like. I said it's going to be your theme 1, your 1.2, then I have your theme 4, which you have to go back and check. This is where your maximum and your minimum. Then you will have your theme 5. They will ask you to do your integrals. And yeah, these are just gonna also come in the long form questions. Then you have your theme 6, also it's going to be asked. Then you have your theme 7, it's also going to be asked. Then you have your linear algebra. This is where you're going to be solving three equations. You're going to use something like your augmented matrices and your Gauss conform. So for this one, they would allocated something like your 7 marks. So how they structure your exam, it's out of 75. See, your integrals, maybe they would make something like your 10 marks. So with your unit 1.2, it won't just like be straight as it is. They would mainly require you to know or draw all the types of graphs. Hence, I've been teaching you guys how to notice your parent functions and so on and so on. Then your domains and your ranges. Then theme 4, this is where you're going to be using your first derivative test. Second I don't think it's going to be there. You're still going to be using your first, but like yeah, just practice both of them, because like even if you practice first, the rules for first derivative and second derivative are just the same. Just like with the second derivative, you're just deriving whatever you're working on twice. Then integrals are also there. So we'll say conjugate integrals, it's theme 5. Theme 5, it's already going with theme 2, which is differentiation. So we're already having theme 1, 1.2, theme 2, differentiation, theme 3, it's not there. Theme 4, it's there, where you have to do those first derivative, and theme 5 is definitely the theme 6. Then that's your scope. So this one, I mainly just like to put it together with this one. Hence, it feels like it's not there, but like it's definitely there. Because like if you can't do your differentiation, you obviously can't do your anti-derivatives. See? So if they give you a scope like this one, so you must know which one is the backbone for which. Hence, it somehow feels like now it's everything that you guys have done, but you have to remember that the main focus at this one, that like you guys didn't do a lot, but this one you just have to make sure that you get all the marks. In most of the cases, this one they would make it up to 7 to 15 marks. The other 7 they would ask it in short form questions. Oh yeah, they're going to give you some sort of like your augmented matrix, and they tell you if your A is equals to what to work out your X or what for like 1 mark each, sort of like, you see. So it's going to be something like that. Then roughly around 75, that's the maximum. Yeah, I know they like to make it 60, 75. It also depends on how they're feeling. If you guys are many, maybe they might make it 60 just to finish marking quick. But yeah, that's how the thing is going to be like. But like as we go, as look, we finished with everything. Just like try to also break it down a little bit further, and just like prepare you guys the same way we did in semester test 2. You see, I will go and try and find the examples for each, but like only the examples that are going to be applicable in the exam. So yeah, I think that's all for the day. Then lekano ya groover, and done for the day. Just wanna sleep.